Okay, hello everybody. It's 8:05 here in Malaysia. I think we can start now, and I'll just let people in after this. But anyways, welcome to the Game Forest December community call. And this month is quite special because I think quite for the first time ever, we'll be talking more about funding and essentially money. So this is like a very this will be like quite interesting compared like previously we've only spoken more about tech tools that we can use on the ground for conservation. But right now, we're going to be exploring more into the funding side of conservation. And um, today, we have like two amazing people that will be sharing with us their experience, which is who's going to be from Bees and Trees from Uganda and also SORALO from Kenya, Sakwa and also Dennis. And both of them will be sharing more about their experience applying for the Gitcoin Grants, which is last cycle. And hopefully, if you have any questions or if you want to ask for some tips, for example, if you want to apply for the next one, feel free. This is your opportunity to actually ask questions. Right. So, before we start, just a little bit of house rules. Number one, please keep your microphone muted when you're not speaking. And then second, please feel free to turn on your camera, say hi. I would love to see everyone's face here. And third, please get involved, ask questions, or share in the chat. Or if you want to say something, you can just unmute yourself, or you can raise hand first, and then you can unmute yourself to ask question or give any feedback. Right? Cool. Right, before we start, maybe you can just quickly write in the chat box, where are you joining us from tonight? Switzerland, yes, David. Anyone else? Just quickly share in the chat box where you're coming from. Philippines, yay. NYC, right. Ayuda in Indonesia, cool. Yes, Sakwa from Uganda. Nice. So just keep it coming. Feel free to write in the chat box where you're joining us from today. And next, as usual, quick vibe check. Which one are you? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Just put it in the chat box. Which one are you? David is a 6. Okay. Anyone else would like to share? Emma is a 7. Yuda number 2. Oh, okay. Sophia 8. I feel you. Dennis is also a 6. Gabriel is a 3. Gabriel is always a 2 or a 3. Sakwa, right? Thank you for sharing. Oh, cool. Okay. Like I've mentioned previously, and also during our last even 2 sessions, we talked about Gitcoin Grants a lot. We talked about funding. Sorry. Before I start, just gonna make sure. Sharfi, is this being recorded?
Yep, it's already recording.
Right. Cool. Okay, just want to make sure. Cool. So just a little bit of I guess recap if you didn't attend the session last month or the last 2 months, but we talked a lot about Gitcoin Grants and how it's using this model called the quadratic funding. But essentially, the idea is that during the donation period, for example, I am project A and then Gabriel is project B, right? And then during the donation period, both of us got accepted. And then during the donation period, I have 10 people who gave me $5, while in Gabriel's project, for example, he also get $50, but it's only from one donor, right? And with the quadratic funding and the Gitcoin Grants, we have this thing called the matching pool, which is basically they already have a pool of money they want to give to you, but they just want to see like how we were going to allocate this money. So they will allocate this based on the number of people that actually donated to us or supported to us during the donation period. So for example here, project A mine, for example, I have more donors or I have more supporters, so I will get more. While Project B would have lower amounts because they had only one donor. So essentially, the sum would be what you got during the donation period and also what you got during the matching pool. So essentially, this is how the quadratic funding works. But feel free to reach out to me if you want to have like a one-to-one session with me. I can explain to you even deeper. But our goal moving forward is really to enable all of our community partners to actually participate in the Gitcoin Grants. And we're really proud that for the last cycle, actually 8 community partners have applied and 2 actually got in. So please, hopefully we will have more in the future, in the next cycle even. And we also have this new thing that we are currently testing and testing is called the hyperseeds, and hyperseeds is also like a new form of like funding model, but an extra layer to hyperseed would be it's also a digital certificate to your impact. Like for example, you have you're going to do a project where you're going to plant 50 trees and you will get a digital certificate of that 50 trees, and at the same time you can also mention the amount of money that you need to plant those 50 trees, right? And people can actually claim the certificate or claim your impact, saying that okay, I've put on this, like put an amount of money and I've helped this person to achieve this impact, right? So this is something that I've been also talking to some of you, and we've been talking about like what kind of impact that could be suitable for your hypercert, and also what is the price. So again, the whole idea of hypercert is number one, to give you some sort of financial support to do what you're going to do or what you are already doing on the ground, and at the same time like a clear impact record of what you're doing, right? Like very quantifiable, like 100 trees, for example, or 100 you have done an outreach program for 100 students, for example. So it's very quantifiable. And the how it works is basically you give us you already have a title of your impact, a description of what you're going to do, and also like a pricing as well. There should be a number and also a timeline, like when is it, like is it for 5 months or is it for 6 months or 1 year. And supporters can actually donate directly to you by claiming this hyperset and also fund your work. Right. So we've already gone through this actually last month and the last 2 months even. But I think I just like to mention that we are trying to figure out as well the pricing, and we need your help. For example, if you feel like you kind of like have a feedback on how a hypercert should be priced, please reach out to me. We can have a separate call. But essentially, we have this like very simple pricing calculator that I will show you now. But basically, we have this. We can all try together after this and see. And you can also give feedback to me on what you think about this calculator. Is it okay? Does it really like compensate the work that you're doing on the ground, for example? So the way this works is basically what is the cost of your impact? For example, what is the cost of planting a tree in Uganda or Indonesia? And like a specific kind of tree as well that you're working on the ground. And for example, if I say $2 per tree, and then the number of trees that I'm going to be doing for this project, for this hyperset, probably will be 200 trees. And we already have like a pricing, which is 400. But I also want to have like an increase, like a profit margin a bit, so that maybe in the future, this amount could help me fund the next project. So probably if I say I'm gonna mark up or profit margin to 20%, so this is the final suggested price. But if, for example, you're talking to funders and they said, hey, actually, I think it should be more or it should be less, right? So for example, the funders say, oh, it's 500 actually for 200 trees. I think the number should be 500, right? So if I put 500 here, so it will, what funders think, if it's higher, it will override the price with the profit margin. So please, I will send you the link later. You can play around with this, and we can talk more about the pricing of the hypercert. Because I think you know better than me because you're working on the ground. You know like what kind of effort it is on the ground to plant a tree, for example. And is $2 enough, or do you think it should be more per tree, right? So yeah, we can talk more about this one-on-one, or you can also message me. And I've also have created this one pager, like an explainer. If you want to like read more about hypersets, you can go through the FAQ, and also you can play around with the calculator as well. Right. Okay. I think enough of me talking. Um, let's go to. Does anyone have any questions so far about Gitcoin, which I feel like our speakers would talk more about later, or anything? All good? Right. Okay. With that, I think I would like to invite Sakwa from Bees and Trees Uganda. Yeah, Sakwa, to you. Please, you can share with us your experience with applying to Gitcoin Grants and then getting the funding, and after that withdrawing the money. Like, what was it like for you? To you.
Thank you so much, Fatin. Hello, everyone, wherever you're joining from. Once again, my name is Stephen Bright Sakon. I'm joining from Uganda, and I work with a youth-led social enterprise called Bees and Trees. What Bees and Trees does essentially is to give incentives and motivate farmers to practice agroforestry, because initially there was a lot of deforestation because people favored food crops instead of trees, which they believed are competitors, and so cut down a lot of trees. So we have been trying to motivate them, but not just the conventional way of telling people plant trees. Trees are good for the environment. They can maybe act as windbreakers. We noticed that it's no longer very attractive. So we try to attach incentives, which is really something that they deserve as conservationists, as stewards, as people who are feeding the world, but also taking care of the natural resources, that is the soil, that is the forests, but also the trees in the community landscapes. So some of the ways we give them incentives, for example, is through giving them beehives. So our model is simple. We fundraise, and then we deliver, say, beehives, trees that act as forage for the bees, but also we incorporate fruits because they can contribute to food security. And then once they start harvesting the honey, we buy it from them. So we also offer market, and that's where the business part comes into our work. So it was a great opportunity to be invited by Game Forest. Initially, for me, it was a bit scary because I had never tried to venture into things to do with crypto. I think Gitcoin is also within the crypto world. I think in most cases, the first impression we get when you hear about cryptocurrency, what has been planted in our minds is that, there's a lot of scams, there's a lot of, so I was kind of pessimistic about it, but sometimes I'm very adventurous. So I talked to Simon, who is part of the team, and we started applying. At first, it looked a bit complex, but thanks to Fatin, we managed to navigate the application process, which actually turned out to be quite simple. we first of all created a Metamask account. Metamask is a platform where you can receive these tokens. But in they call tokens, I'm still learning this money. Yeah, so we opened up a Metamask account, we got an address, and then we went ahead to apply on the Gitcoin platform. And of course, we added our address so that donations could come directly. They were coming to my account. So it was quite easy, and I would encourage you all to give it a go next time. Our project, I think many projects applied, but we were so lucky to be selected among a few. So I thought maybe I would take you through what we shared. That probably, of course, the content is different, but sometimes maybe the way you structure it is also very important. So, Fatin, if you don't mind, I will share my screen.
Yes, please feel free to share screen.
Okay.
Are you able to?
Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Not yet.
Okay, just a moment. What about now?
Yes, you can see it now.
Awesome. So this is our page. Of course, the platform has a lot of pages for the different projects. So choosing ours, this is where it would bring you to. You can see that we started with a very beautiful picture of a farmer that we're handing a hive over to. And two women, of course, sometimes the picture also gives a very good impression to someone and to the cause. So we added our logo, that is our organization, and then you can see this is where the address is, where the money can be sent to Metamask. And we tried to keep our responses as brief as possible. You can see our problem is just almost 7 sentences. So we kept it as succinct and concise as possible, but also a very good picture that is compelling and really shows the problem. So here someone can easily see that there's deforestation here to create farms for agriculture, and a landslide has actually happened because this part of the mountain has been degraded. Unlike the other part, which still has the trees and doesn't have any landslide. So this is a very powerful image to show the problem and to convince someone that indeed something needs to be done. And then our solution also, we added it, incentivizing smallholder farmers. We also kept it as short as possible. And we also added a very good documentary. We are a bit lucky because DW TV made for us a documentary at one time, so it makes our work much more easier. But you can also capture something, even if it's amateur. We can always make videos. People understand that we don't always have the very high technologies to have the best quality videos. So still some photos of the farmers with some of the work we've done, because traction is also very important if people are going to add new resources. And of course, some numbers when it comes to traction, what we've done so far, and what we intend to continue doing. We also added our link to the Green Globe to show how we map our trees, how we map the beehives. for purposes of transparency and accountability, so that when someone is giving you money, they know that indeed work will be done. So we added the ambition. We also try to keep as small as to show what you want to achieve. So that's the basis on which you ask for more resources and encourage people to donate more. And then we end with a very beautiful image of some of the women that we work with in Mount Elgon. And yeah, this is how we structured our project. I can share the link in case you want to get some more ideas on how to present your argument for support. And I'll stop the sharing now. So I don't know if there is any questions, and if I've missed anything, please, Fatin, don't hesitate to remind me. Oh, maybe the part of receiving money. Yeah, so the money eventually, actually, we got around, let me just double check. We got around $387.45 in donations. But this money was matched and we ended up getting around $3,300. I was also blown away with how much 300 would bring in terms of match funds. So it was very interesting, and it has given us a very good starting point for next year. Yeah. So once the round closed, of course, the round runs for a period. Once it closed, the money, all of it was sent to my wallet, and transferring it from the wallet was quite simple. I got in touch with Fatin, who told me about an application. It's called MiniPay. So it works across East Africa. So we transferred the money to MiniPay. Usually just copy your address, you enter it, and then you send money. But the trick is you have to first send very small amounts. Fatin emphasized to me that that is the rule of thumb when you're doing anything with crypto and such money. Send very little amounts to confirm that it's going to the right place. So once the money came to MiniPay, then there are options. You can either send it to the bank, or you can send it, for example, for us in East Africa, we have mobile money, we have M-Pesa, and some other options like airtime. But yeah, so quite interesting. Of course, there were a few challenges. For example, transferring money from MiniPay to my bank account, there was a limit to the amount of money I could transfer. So I could only transfer around 1,200 at the moment. And then the mobile money's challenge is that you send very small amounts, and sometimes it can be very hectic. So, but we also started being innovative, figuring out how we can circumvent such challenges. For example, David gave us a very good idea that you can send it to another team member so that they send it to their bank accounts, and it becomes much more easy. So yeah, it has been quite an interesting journey, and I hope you'll also take on the opportunity once it rises again. Happy to take any questions if there is any.
Yes. Anyone has any questions? Yes, Gabriel.
As always. Hello, Stefan. Thanks so much for the presentation, brother. Really cool presentation. How is the restriction of reporting for the money? For example, I won the grant, so I have the money on my account, but how rigid do I have to report back to Gitcoin, or how rigid is the use of that money? For example, I have this pilot design, but in the middle, I don't know, the structuring, I found out that there's a change that I can do it and would become a better pilot, but then I have to change something. Does this money can be used still? There's a rigorous process or flexible process of reporting back, or there's non-reporting back on the money or the use?
Yes, actually, this question was raised at some point on the Signal group, but the team informed us that they will get back on how we can do the reporting, which has not yet been shared. I don't know if, Fatin, you've got any information around that.
Yes, actually we have this, let me show you real quick. So this is quite new as well, and this is something called Karma, which is, it's a reporting like page that can be used by those who actually got the Gitcoin grants, but at the same time it's quite easy. It's literally like updating your Facebook, because I was doing it, I was like, wow, this is super easy. This is Gainforest basically, but what you do is basically create a milestone or an update if you have done it, and you just say what you have done, and then there should be like a proof of work. It could be pictures, it could be videos, it could be a blog post or a Twitter post, for example, right? So there is some sort of reporting, but it is very flexible and not too heavy like a traditional grant would be. So moving forward, people who actually want to apply, for example, Sakwa, Bees and Trees, they want to apply another time next round, they need to go through Karma and report all the things that they have done here. But as you can see, it's quite simple. Yeah.
If I can just add a little bit to this, if you have been accepted to Gitcoin Grants and you receive funds, you would be able to log in to this application with the same wallet that you used to submit the application for Gitcoin, and your grants would be automatically linked to your profile page on Karma. And then from there you can add milestones. So the next time, actually almost always, if you want to apply for another Gitcoin grant, they always say please send a link to your Karma Gap profile so that people can be able to see what you've done. And like Fatin said, it's not super strict. It should be within the same theme of what you applied for, but you can add milestones related to the grants. And it's always good to be able to post updates maybe once every month to show that you're active, so that in the future people will say, okay, it's not a scam project, it's not an inactive project, we know that the people are actually working. So I recommend, if you haven't already, just post one update or post one milestone, and maybe try to remember to post an update maybe every month or every 3 weeks, so that next time when you want to apply for Gitcoin grants again, they know that you're working and they're happy to give you more funds.
Great. Thank you, Sharpie. Anyone else have any other question? Yes, Gabriel.
Follow-up question. Do we have kind of a deadline for the use of the money? Because some grants, they give you a space of time. You have to use this money for this 6 months, or else I don't know, you lose it. And the Gitcoin, we have a deadline for using, or if I don't use it, can I leave it there to the next, endeavors, or if it's something, if I have more, I managed to do all the pilot with the thing, the money, the extra, can I use it or have a deadline, something like that?
All right.
So the moment that you,
Go on, Mom.
So the moment that you get the funds, you can use it however you like. I think Gitcoin, they're more interested in seeing that you have done work and what you're planning, if something changed, what happened and why. But they're more interested in seeing that you've did work and you can show proof that you did work, versus like, oh, I spend $10 on something and $10 on the other thing.
Yes, as you can see, it's very flexible and doesn't restrict you to, you can use this amount just for admin, for example, or this amount just for planting, for example. So it's really up to you on how you want to use the money, as long as you update it on Karma.
And I think, sorry, just to add, I think some grants, they say that they want to know what you use the money for. So if you end up using the money for salaries, or if you ended up using the money to buy equipment, all they ask is that you're transparent with the reporting and you show the proof.
Okay, thank you for Gabriel for pointing that out. Because I just realized that I didn't put this part in the guide, so maybe this is something that I could add into the Gitcoin guide. So Sakwa and also Dennis, we can also talk more about how you can have your own Karma account and how you can slowly update it. Yeah, cool, great questions. Anyone else? If not, we will go straight to Dennis. Thank you so much, Sakwa. This has been really, really great. Cool. To you, Dennis. I'll pass it to you.
Thank you so much, Nofatin. I don't know if I'm audible enough, and I don't know if you can hear me well.
Yes, we can hear you well.
Well, I hope everyone is good. We are good here in southern Kenya. We've had quite little amounts of rain for this rainy season, but we're expecting that the biomass that is available will be able to take us to the next rainy season. So basically, I'm Dennis Lemayan. I work for South Rift Association of Landowners. It's based in Magadi, and we work across 2 counties, that is Kajiado and Narok, supporting around 25 Maasai communities. And when I say communities, I mean the locals. The Maasai is a community, is one community as a whole, but there are several locals that we support. So those are the communities that we support. And especially now that we've had challenges in climate change, human-wildlife conflict, we've had degradation challenges, then SORALO comes in as an organization that is community-centered, focusing on community livelihoods and ensuring that we try and minimize the conflicts and, of course, restore degraded areas. So I'll try and go directly to the presentation and first introduce who we are as SORALO, and then later on talk about the Gitcoin grants or the grants as my fellow Sakwa had just given us. So thank you, Nofatin, for that. Okay, so as SORALO, as I said earlier, we support around 25 community conservancies covering around 15,000 kilometers squared. Nofatin, the presentation. I saw you had
yes.
presented. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Sure, can you see it?
Let me present it from my own laptop.
Yes, yeah. That's better.
Okay. I don't know if you can. Are you seeing?
Not yet.
Are you seeing? Okay.
Not yet. We can try one more time.
Yeah, let me try. Okay.
Dennis?
Yes.
On your screen, you should be seeing the presentation. Yeah, it's coming now.
Yes. Nice. You can see it now. Cool.
Okay. So are we together on the page?
Yes, the governance program.
No. Okay. Definitely no. Okay. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. You can. Okay. Okay. So our vision is to have a healthy, intact, and intact landscape that supports pastoralist communities and wildlife. And the mission is also to maintain that healthy landscape. So, as I had already said, the challenges are degradation, human-wildlife conflict, especially with the carnivore conflicts. They are quite high. Land fragmentation and division, and this quite influencing decisions on the ground, because you find that the corridors that we used to have for wildlife are now being fenced out. So we really have to go in there and give our governance teams to work on that. Then we have climate change. There's little that we can do about that, other than try and build resilient communities. And then we also have cultural changes. And on this one, we are trying as much as possible that we have a positive change, because the Maasai way of life is predominantly tied to their culture. So once we lose that culture, then our way of life also disappears. So what are we doing to address those challenges? So we are doing restoration efforts, and this was the main project that we presented to the Gitcoin and my other grants people. We are right now, we've done around 15,000 Earth Smiles around Magadi area. And with these Earth Smiles, of course, they have an advantage, is that they can collect water, and they can act as water reservoirs. And once you plant grass, then they are able to grow easily. So the next thing is that we've had we're also engaging community members in terms of the women that are there so that they can also be part of the restoration story. We are not just doing it as SORALO, but we are doing it for the community, and being the community there is taking up this task of being in charge of the grass seed banks development. And these grass seed banks also serve as income, alternative income to their communities. And it becomes an income in such a way that the seeds that are harvested there are sold out to other community members who are able then to plant these seeds in the areas that they need to be restored. Another thing is that they also harvest hay from those grass seed banks. So the seasonalities of the hay availability is also becoming something that the women can bank on, and see that income is gotten by the women. And once the women get the income, we are very sure that the whole community is going to benefit. Also we are working on we are also working on the on planting of trees. We've had we have established around 10 nurseries, around Magadi, 2 in Magadi and 8 in Loita region. And through this, we are going to at least plant around over 25,000 trees. And for the PMNR and FMNR, we are going at least to raise around over 500,000 trees. So those are the projects that we are currently working on. In terms of governance, we've had the governance team is really working with the communities to ensure that we have the land that is not subdivided remains communal, and we have legal structures that are in place for that work, and also for the areas that have been divided, then we work with the communities to ensure that they are able to pull together and they are able to form community conservancies. So on our coexistence program, it's also one of the biggest programs in SORALO. The coexistence is really what we do is really try to mitigate the human-wildlife conflict. We do not try to reduce it or eliminate it, but try to mitigate at the level where it is occurring. So one of the things we have done is that we have hired community helpers that are usually in charge of the villages across the landscape. And what they do is that they ensure that the livestock that are lost are recovered, that no livestock get into paths of predators or any other wildlife that may harm them. Another thing is also we've done is solarized boreholes to ensure that there is constant supply of water, that the elephants do not come and destroy people's homes or people's water tanks looking for water. So I've already talked about the governance. So for the Gitcoin and My Earth grants, first of all, I would like to thank the Gain Forest team led by Nur Fatin. You've been so much help, and we learned of this opportunity through the Nur Fatin and the Gain Forest platform, and we got to apply. And one of our project was mainly on establishing more earth smiles and planting seeds in them, because we would restore more land into productive rangelands. So the application process was quite simple, as already explained. We once we applied, and then the organizers from the My Earth team notified us that we've been selected, and then we started the process of setting up the Metamask account or the wallet. So and then we submitted the project proposals through the Gitcoin Explorer, and then once we did that, then the funds started coming through. What really amazed me was that we couldn't know the people that were donating to us. So this means that this is another way of even getting to people who we will never or even ever knew they existed out there. So the crypto world is a new way of getting people to really give back to conservation and make sure that our earth is because we only have one earth, and we make sure that it is habitable and it is sufficient for all of us. So for the process of funds allocations, we got donations in so many various forms of crypto coins. We had USDC, Ethereum, USD Globe, and then for this round they had PayPal donations. And I from what I got is that the PayPal donations were people that we as participants in that round could go to and tell them to donate to us through PayPal. So the only problem with that was that they should also fund around 2 or 3 other projects to a minimum of $5 each. So after that, we got to do the funds off ramping, and I got much help from Nusratin because I got to send Nusratin the funds. Then Nusratin would convert them into the tokens that are accepted in the MiniPay wallet, and the MiniPay wallet accepts USDC, USDT, and I think CUSD. So we did that. So the MiniPay wallet, this is something small I launched on the MiniPay wallet, and then So after that, we were able from the MiniPay wallet. I was able to transact directly to my M-Pesa account because I realized the exchange rate was higher for lower amounts, and the exchange rate was lower for higher amounts. So I think that's something I learned from. I learned from that. So I will just like to show you some. I don't know if it's okay. Can you see?
Yes, you can see.
Yes. So that's how MiniPay looks like. It's very easy. You just have to have a number and your Google account, and then you can withdraw to M-Pesa or bank, or you can buy even airtime. So these are the records, so that maybe we are able to really verify that we got this money, and this how we did. So I already withdrew mine, and it has already gotten into to do some work for SORALO, and I think that is it from my end. And thank you so much. I'll share your link. Any questions? I'll take some questions.
Yes, thank you, Dennis. Anyone has questions regarding? Yes, Gabriel. What?
Hello, Dennis. Thanks so much, brother, for the presentation. I saw that you guys define the communities that were going to work on this. The communities themselves decided which would be the representatives, right? I think there was a slide telling that the community chose the people who are going to work with it will be the leaders of this.
That is on coexistence. So the community, we have a very unique program, because we ensure that the communities have a say. We are community first organization. So the communities decide who is best suited to serve them in terms of who will go and look after the lost livestock, who is responsible enough, who is going to take this responsibility of guarding the community. So because one of the things that we do that much sometimes happened some times ago, and then we realized that we needed people to decide this, because you'll get someone very good on socializing, very good on talking to you, but that person is never there at the ground. So you'll recruit someone and then he goes missing. People don't see the benefit of that person. So we really give communities that option, and we let them identify. And for us, it's just paying a salary and make sure that person is working.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Like a follow-up question. This was the previous to.
Yes.
The second thing is that since in the communities they were decided which one will be working, and they're paid to do it, right? This is a job. So each one of the people who are paid, they have to understand the crypto situation, because from my perspective, I'm from the Amazon, and it's a really hard concept to make you understand a digital currency and all those things. So the people, everyone had to be kind of literate, had to be capacitated on crypto, on blockchain, understand what is the Metamask, or there's just a set of people on the group that work on that. Because everyone has to create a wallet, right? So to create a wallet, like, that's kind of mistrust, like the last one said, there's a kind of mistrust. The money is not physical. How do you deal with this situation of blockchain technology with people?
Gabriel, if I've gotten your question right, is that you're saying the community members that are selected by the communities are trained on crypto, right?
Yeah. No. Basically asking if they are trained to understand crypto. Is that something that just you deal and they just receive it?
No, we do not train them on crypto. Of course, crypto is so much complex, even to most of us. So having community, we do not train them. Yeah.
Got it. Perfect. That's what was one of the, not worries, but one of the greatest obstacles also here in the Amazon too. Is that really different concept, right? It's strange. We've been working all of our life with physical money, and out of the blue, okay, things are on the internet. No, the money, it doesn't exist. I'm interested in this because we are doing similar things, but in different places, right? So if it's a better strategy to make everyone knows crypto, or if it's a better strategy to have one representative who knows crypto, and then he only just sends the money. That's what I wanted to see how you guys did it, so we can maybe copy best practice to you.
Yeah, definitely. In my organization, I think it's only me who's dealing with the crypto, and the others, we can work on the other aspects of the program, but for the crypto, it's only me doing the crypto. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe Sakwa, you want to add as well to Gabriel's question? Does everyone in Bees and Trees need to know about crypto or not?
Yeah, I think the more the better in most cases. For example, I said when it comes to transferring the funds and there is a limit and another team member knows how it works, then it becomes easier. So for us at Bees and Trees, at least 2 people know how to navigate this process. And the plan is to help more get acquainted with these platforms and methods of transacting. Maybe just Dennis, do you also get boosts from MiniPay? I've been getting like $3 every day, and I'm asking myself, why are these guys giving me money?
Yeah. I've seen some boosts on MiniPay. Yeah, but I withdrew the money. So if you are getting the $3, I'm getting a very small amount.
Or perhaps it depends on the amount you're having as your balance. Maybe they are encouraging us to keep money there.
So just to explain a little bit more about why they're doing this, usually if they're a new application, they just want to see that people are using it, and so they usually give rewards for maybe the first year. They used to do the same thing for Valora, and I used to also get boosts, and now they stopped it because now there's a lot of people coming in. So I recommend to take advantage of it, and maybe tell some of your friends also about it, also so they can get some boosts as well. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much. I learned so much from both of you and also from the questions as well. Anyone has any last questions or feedback? Like maybe they are now interested or anything. Because I think Sakwa made such a good point about being adventurous is really important. Because if not, you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is so scary. But again, I'm here to help you. So if you want to have one-to-one sessions with me regarding Metamask, regarding Gitcoin in general, please feel free to reach out. So and count to 3. If anyone has any last question, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yes, Gabriel.
It's just a really quick question. I saw that you guys created a fund, right? It was this for tennis. You guys created a fund to construct this, but how do you create a fund, for example? Because we are consider a similar strategy, creating funds and having endowment funds and increasing the funding, only using the income that comes from the profits. But how do you guys made it to construct a fund? You had already a prize, or you construct a fund from the zero? Because normally you construct a fund when you win a lot of money, and then you construct a fund. Okay, you have $1 million to construct a fund to use the profits from that fund. But how do you guys start the fund?
Which fund? The nurseries? You met the nurseries?
I don't remember the name. There was, I think, the second slide.
For the nurseries, that we have separate funding for that, but also it's also the funding is never enough. It's never sufficient to cover most of the activities that are involved in ensuring that the nurseries set up and planting maintenance are quite expensive. So we have to have other donations come in and ensure that we are able to make those nurseries up and running and they are well maintained. Yeah.
Thanks, my brother. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks for the answer. Thanks, Stefan.
Right. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming, and Sakwa and Dennis for sharing with us today. Hopefully, there will be more communities that will apply for Gitcoin Grants. Cool. If that's it, thank you so much. I'll see you on the next call, and happy holidays as well. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Bye, everyone.